Welcome back to the Sip to Tally preseason power rankings, and we've made it to Team 29. Before we get into Team 29, let's recap yesterday's episode and talk about Team 30 briefly. Team number 30 was the Dallas Cowboys, and going through their roster, I had them rated at the quarterback position, number 17, running back position, 31. A lot of questions there, a lot of new faces. No Tony, no Zeke. O-line changing, 31 for the running backs. 11 for the wide receivers. Great duo at the top with Pickens and CD. Not very much after that. Tight end, 26, Schoonmaker and Ferguson, whatever. And then O-line, 21. They're trying to get back to what they used to have with that really, really good O-line with Zach Martin and those guys. But, Martin retired. A lot of their staples up front got old and not there anymore, so they're starting to replace new guys. Drafting Booker. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, their last two first-round picks have been offensive linemen. Left tackle last year, and then Booker this year out of Alabama. Go to the defensive side for the Cowboys. Defensive line edge group, 26. They got Micah. Not much else, especially in the interior. Linebackers, 30. Kenny Murray Jr. and Leofile and the other guy, and Maris Leofile may end up taking that second linebacker job. He may take the first linebacker job, depending on what Kenny Murray do, because he just hadn't lived up to that first round billing. And 26 for the cornerback room, because they have too many question marks. Don't know when Diggs coming back. Bland has kind of fell off a little bit from all those pick sixes he had that year, and we just don't know. And then their safety room is mid at best, and that's being nice. And that was yesterday's episode for the Dallas Cowboys at number 30. Today's episode, they were the hot team a couple years ago. And when I say hot, as long as the weather's hot, they're a threat. When the weather starts getting cold and real football has to be, well, I ain't gonna say real football, important football has to be played in colder weather, they wither away. They're kind of like the kid on the meme that throws up the peace sign and then just disappears. That's team number 29 once the weather starts to change and they have to go on the road and play in cold weather places. Team number 29, and maybe defensive coaches are starting to figure out what they got going on, but team number 29 is the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into what the Miami Dolphins have roster-wise, and then talk about the rankings on offense and defense. So we'll start with their draft picks from last year, and I'll briefly run through those. Kenny Grant from Michigan was their first pick at number 13, and I'll be honest with you, I think Grant is better than the kid the Browns picked at 5. Just from watching tape and doing my research during the draft season, I think Grant is better than the kid that the Browns picked at 5. But a lot of people didn't see it that way because of his motor, but it is what it is. Second round, they picked up Jonah from Zona, which I think is a very good pickup. Jordan Phillips, the defensive line from Maryland. Cornerback Jason Marshall from Florida in the 5th round. Phillips, Marshall, and then Dante Trade, another safety, a safety from Maryland. They had all those in the 5th round. Ollie Gordon, who, in my opinion, fell completely off the map his last season. Year 4 that in college, he was you-know-what. But last year, he just fell off. And then Quinn Ewers from Texas in the 7th round, and Zeke Beakers from Georgia Tech, defensive lineman, in the 7th round as well. Quinn Ewers, yeah, I feel like if they had played Arch, they would have won the national championship. But that's neither here nor there. Here nor there. All right, let's start with the quarterback position as we normally do. We know their starter is Tua Tagovailoa. Last year, threw for 2,867 yards with 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And Tua, when he can be on time, he's really, really good especially with the quick receivers that he got. When he got to do stuff on the second and third read, it fall off. And then there's this huge concern about Tua's health as well. In that room with Tua as well is Zach Wilson, Quinn Ewers, who we just mentioned, and then Blaine Gabbert. So I don't see any of those guys pushing Tua for that position. And Tua's going to be that guy. I just hope he can avoid concussions anymore, because I really feel like he should be done already. But one more and he got to sit down, man. He got a family. Sorry. Pack it up, go back to Hawaii, enjoy your family, raise your kids, and be a good husband to your wife and a good father to your dads. But just one more concussion ain't worth some of the stuff that these older guys went through to just kind of tough it out. But that's your body. That's just my opinion. All right, going to the running back room. And the lead dog in the running back room is Devon Achane from Texas A&M. This will be his second or third season. Let me see real quick. This will be his third season. Last year, 907 yards. He played out 17 games. His yards per carry, 4.5, which is down. Only had 6 touchdowns this past year, but don't sleep on Achane. Achane got track speed, and if they can block it up front, he's one of those guys that can take a simple inside zone and hit his head on the goalpost. He's extremely explosive. Can catch the ball at the backfield as well, and he's just explosive. But behind him, you have Jalen Wright, who they drafted last year, who's a speed guy who hadn't really proven much. You have a declining Alexander Madison, and then again you have Ollie Gordon, who I think last year just fell off the cliff in college. He had an extremely good, whatever the year was before that. I don't know what his classification was, and then came back this last year and just, I don't know if it was O-line, offense, QB play, or whatever, but he stunk it up. And it may have been because he had that great year the year before that, and everybody focused on him, and the other teammates couldn't do enough to take the slack off of him. But he didn't do great his last year. I don't know if it was junior year or senior year, because with all the kids stay in college forever now. All right, let's go to the wide receiver position. And you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and then a bunch of other guys. The starter looks like it'll be Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, but Tyreek, we know what Tyreek is. You guys got to stay healthy and not get frustrated and not be spacey. Waddle's Waddle. Waddle can get, both of those guys are explosive. Both of them are short. But the thing is, if they can work with that time and stuff with Tua, and they can hit on that early in the game, they're tough to beat, or tough to handle, rather, so to speak. The other guys in that group, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, D. Eskridge, Theo Weiss Jr. Theo Weiss, a rookie from Missouri. He didn't get drafted. I just don't. They got the just like the Cowboys yesterday. Their top 2 guys are straight. But what's gonna happen when one of those guys are out, or a defense is kind of, I ain't gonna say put the clamps on them, but kind of control those 2 guys? Where's the third receiver? What's the third receiver gonna do? What's he gonna bring you? Not much. With that being said, they do have one of the most versatile tight ends in the game, and that's Jonnu Smith. I like Jonnu's game. Jonnu as an H-back. Jonnu catching the ball out the backfield. Over the past couple of years, Jonnu has really, really, really impressed me with his game, whether it be in Miami or I think New England before that. Miami, then Atlanta, then New England before that. So, and then obviously he was drafted by the Titans. So I think they got a extremely versatile Jonnu Smith, and with the RPO stuff that McDaniel, I'm trying to remember the coach last night, does, Jonnu can be very, very versatile in that scheme. Looking at the O-line, you got Patrick Paul, you got James Daniels, Aaron Brewer, Jonah from Zona, and Austin Jackson. Them losing Armstead is gonna hurt. Replacing them with Paul, that's really gonna hurt their O-line. And let's look at what I got the whole offense ranked. Quarterback 18, Tua in the crew. Running back Achane with Washington behind him. Not with Washington, Jalen Wright behind him. Wide receivers, I love Waddle and Hill. I just don't see very much after that. And they didn't give you what I felt like they should have gave you last year. But their ranking is part in because of Tua. You can have the greatest wide receivers in the world, but if the quarterback can't get him the ball, there's an issue. So part of that ranking has to do with Tua. 21 with Jonnu. Like I said, I like Jonnu, but ain't nothing behind him. You got Julian Hill, Pharaoh Brown, and Tanner Connor. It's just Jonah. I mean, it's just Jonnu. Sorry, just Jonnu. Let's flip over to the defensive side, where the offensive line is 29. They missing a lot. Let's flip over to the defensive side, though. Don't let that 92 by Daniels fool you. Just don't let that fool you. Just pay attention to it. On the defensive side of the ball. And again, I put the nickel up here because most teams going to be a nickel a lot because that's kind of what the NFL has evolved to. And you'll start with their defensive line. Chubb and Phillips. Both coming off injuries. Phillips was a wrecking ball before he got hurt. We all know what Chubb can do. Chubb's a seasoned veteran. Both of them coming off injury. Both are huge, huge, huge question marks. You got Zach Ziegler. Then you got Robinson, who they drafted last year, who showed potential. So when you get them in pass rush situations, they're going to be tough to deal with, especially if Chubb come back healthy, Phillips is healthy, and then the emergence of Chop Robinson on the other side as well. So up front, that's formidable up front. Linebackers. Both of these guys have migrated to Miami from Seattle. That's Tyrell Dodson and Jordan Brooks. And Jordan Brooks, I ain't gonna say transferred. He left Seattle and came to Miami. And the linebacker from Miami went to Seattle. That linebacker eventually got cut and don't even play for him anymore. Mike McDonald was looking for linebackers the whole season, running them in and out. But Jordan Brooks came to Miami and flourished. And Dodson, came with him and played okay. Then you go to the secondary. You got Storm Duck. You got Jalen Ramsey, and Ramsey's not on here because Ramsey wants out. That's why he's not up there. Ramsey wants out, and at some point a trade is going to be made with Jalen Ramsey. So he's not up there, and I probably should have put him in there because he's still contractually obligated to Miami Dolphins, but he's not. So I didn't use him at all. You got Kadar Kohu as the third cornerback, and this cornerback room don't scare me at all. When you look at the safeties, Ashton Davis, who left the Jets and is now in Miami, and Melifonwu. Melifonwu is one of my favorite Madden players when I was playing Madden because he was just extremely versatile for the video game. It never really panned out in real life, but for the video game, Melifonwu will be considered my user. So if you play Madden, you know what I mean. And let's look at the rankings for I have for the defensive guys. Our defensive line group, 23. You got Chubb, who's coming back off injury. Phillips coming back off injury. Chop did show up. Zach Ziegler and other guys, I got him at 23. Linebackers, like I said, I like both of these linebackers. I really, really, really like Brooks. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but Brooks was in that class with Queen and Kenneth Murray, if I'm not mistaken. I think. And but I like Brooks's game, and he fly around, make tackles, and do what he needs to do. So I have that linebacker group at 12. Cornerback group, 31st. Again, Jalen Ramsey is not in this factor. He's not in this equation. That's why I have him 31st. Then the safety group, you got Ashton Davis, and Melifonwu has been a great Madden player for me, but that hadn't panned out in real life. And the safety group, I have them at 32. So put all those numbers together, divide them up by 9, 22, then 2. So they're the number 29 team on the Tip to Tally Power Rankings. So the Dolphins are where they are, man. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, disagree, if you agree with the actual position rankings, or if you disagree with the actual position rankings. Put it in the comment section. We'll talk about it. And on that note, man, I'll see y'all soon. Peace and love. Tune in tomorrow for number 28, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 28. Peace and love, y'all.